Good. Lovely. Let's wait for everybody to turn up. The signal might die just for 1 second because I'm just going into my friend's house. They're back in a second, but I'm just in town at a hospital appointment. Just give me 1 sec. Does anybody have any interesting news? Anybody have any interesting news?
No.
Hang on, wait there 1 second. One second. Good. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. I'm just putting my boots. They've got a really warm. Their heating is right in the hall. So when you come in, if you put your boots in their cupboard by the hall, they're so toasty warm nice when you leave. It's really good. 1 second. Good. Right, so let's go over here and teach in their little bedroom. Good. So today's work is about questions and how basically in French there are 3 ways of asking. Someone's got who's the noisy offender again? Who do you think it is? When you ask a question in French, there are 3 basic systems. The 3 basic systems are going to change whether your question has an interrogative or not. So first things first, let's talk about a question that has an interrogative. Brendan, ask me any question you can think of.
What's the difference between a lemon and a lime?
So this question has an interrogative word, what? Tia, ask me any question you can think of. Is Tia here? No, that's right. Denise, ask me any question you can think of. Go.
What time is it in Hong Kong?
Don't use the same interrogative.
Where in the world is Carmen Santiago?
I fucking love that. I fucking love that. Good. Interrogative where? Bree, any way you could try and ask me a question without an interrogative, which means without a why, when, who, how, any question you can think to ask me without that.
Does Jenna like soccer?
Exactly right. Okay, so these are interrogative words. These are question words. Why, when, who, how. Yeah. Right, so who's making noise? Is that bloody idiot air hostess again? God, keep your hands still. Good God, you'd think she'd be discreet. Off you go. So it's like a cattle market. So can we therefore agree on 3 systems? Tone of voice, inversion, esca-quesca. Would you just repeat this 2 back to me? Tone of voice, inversion, esca-quesca. Repeat, all of you, go.
Tone of voice, inversion, esca-quesca.
So we basically see for most sentence concepts that are a question, there are 3 ways of doing it. Are they all as common? No. Do I like them all as much? No. Will you hear all of them as much? No. Do we need to get them all in our mouth? Yes. All right. So first things first, let's do the versions with no interrogative. So could you please for me, for Tabby say, just as a sentence, say, he is French. Just say it as a sentence. He's French.
He is French.
In French. Say it for me in French. Go.
Il est français.
Good. Can you now purely with the tone of voice, can you make that a question? Purely with the tone of voice. Listen to me. Tuck your stars and stripes in and listen. Purely with your tone of voice. Purely with your tone of voice. Purely with your tone of voice. Can you make il est français a question? Go.
Il est français?
There you go. She's decided. Good girl. Christ almighty. People think I'm a mean bitch, but when I fucking spell it out. Lovely. Lovely. Can you, Tabby, take il est français and can you give me the inverted version? What is an inversion? It is verb before subject. So the verb starts. We'll talk about inversions with auxiliaries in a minute, but it's the first verb that will start. You know, like aurait-il, would he have, fini, and all this business. But for the moment, we've just got one verb to invert. So in other words, Tabby, if I've got il est français, how am I going to invert il est français to make it is he French as an inversion method?
Est-il français?
Lovely. You still obviously need the question work as you've just the question voice. Good. If I've got a question which has no interrogatives, or even if I've got a question which has got an interrogative, you want to try and ram is it that into your question. And if you get a little bit lost with a question, imagine saying, is it that in the question? Where does he live? As stupid as this sounds, Denise, would you ask where? No one's saying this is going to sound normal in English. But Denise, could you ask me where does he live? Trying to get the words, is it that into the question?
Where is it that he lives?
Which would give us où est-ce qu'il habite. No one in that example is saying où habite-t-il doesn't exist. No one in that sentence is saying il habite où doesn't exist. But thinking to try and get is it that in will do it. Could you basically, Susan, for me in English, could you get is it that into the sentence? Why does he want to come? Why does he want to come? How would you get is it that into the sentence and why does he want to come?
Why is it that he wanted to come?
Lovely. Wants to come. Perfect. Which would give me pourquoi est-ce qu'il veut venir? So if you can get this est-ce version in, that's a really nice thing. All right, good. So if we go back to is he French? Is he French? So how would you say, Tabby, is he French using est-ce? Is it that he's French?
Est-ce que il est français?
Lovely. Good job.
Est-ce qu'il?
That's it. There's a good link. Hang on, I'm just kissing people hello. Because they wash, unlike you six. Hi. Have you got a stick?
This is for.
Oh, I thought you meant for your leg or your ankle.
No.
Hi. Good. Lovely. So, tell anybody I'm nice, and I'll fucking end all six of you. So, yeah, lovely. So, Tabby, est-ce qu'il est français? As you correctly pointed out, Q-U'-I-L. So, say for me, est-ce qu'il est français?
Est-ce qu'il est français?
No. I'm liking the muscle memory, young lady. I am. But it's not il y a, it's est-ce qu'il est. So, your mouth remembers est-ce qu'il y a. Is it that there is? So, is there a pub, for example? Est-ce qu'il y a un bar? But we're not saying est-ce qu'il y a, we're saying est-ce qu'il est. So, mouth together, say for me, est-ce qu'il est français?
Est-ce qu'il est français?
Nice. That was good. Nice twangs. Try smaller mouth. Est-ce qu'il est français?
Est-ce qu'il est français?
Good. What would S a cut plus an L give me, Tabby, while we're there? What would cut plus L give me?
Est-ce qu'il?
Est-ce qu'elle?
Est-ce qu'il?
No, est-ce qu'elle. I could see rethinking about it, but yeah, est-ce qu'elle est française? Lovely. Good. So good. So Brie, if I said, have you eaten? What is the sentence you have eaten?
T'as mangé or tu as mangé.
Lovely. Now, I'm liking the slang awareness, but I don't think you guys should be doing it just yet. It would just invite slang back at you, which is just a little bit like suicidal. So t'as mangé is fine. For those that don't understand that are watching either in the group or at home, that is when you take tu and a or tu and a, and you make them t'as mangé or t'es français or this business. Yeah, but lovely. So certainly, so pop the question tone of voice back on. Tu as mangé?
Tu as mangé?
Now, did anybody hear that beautiful slide between Tu as mangé. That was delicious. That's why I'm not a fan, although I'll do it. That's why I do really. Well, oui, tu as mangé is much more elegant than t'as mangé, but that was a really good slide. Could you give me the version of tu as mangé?
The inversion.
Yeah.
As-tu mangé?
The as-tu mangé. So we don't pronounce the S. So we need to be aware that when we invert, the only thing that we're going to sound is the T. And sometimes if we don't have an inversion with a T, we will pop one in, which we'll come to in a moment. All right? Things like as-tu. Okay. So if I say, have you eaten? As-tu mangé? Let me hear it. As-tu mangé?
As-tu mangé?
Can you now ask it me with an esker? Have you eaten?
Est-ce que tu mangé? Est-ce que tu as mangé?
Lovely. So we might like to think there's two versions so far where the subject comes first. Tu as mangé. Est-ce que tu as mangé? Where we haven't messed up the word order. And there's one version where we've done the version the other way around. All right. That business of how many with this way and how many with this way is going to come in really useful in a moment. Good. Brendan, how would you say he's eaten all three ways? He's eaten all three ways.
Il a mangé. Il a mangé. Est-ce qu'il a mangé?
Inversion.
A-t-il mangé?
So because a is a vowel, and il is a vowel, il. We can't say a-il. We say a-t-il mangé. So your is he will have a T already pronounced because EST hyphen IL. What do we do when we invert? We shove in a hyphen, a tiret, a trait d'union. Yes, always, 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 always. So many people don't know how to spell qu'est-ce que, and I would say you've got one apostrophe, one hyphen, and one space. One apostrophe, one hyphen, and one space. Q-U apostrophe E-S-T hyphen C-E-Q. Because. Qu'est-ce que or est-ce que is itself an inversion. Tia, what is est-ce que an inversion of? What is est-ce que an inversion of? What is est-ce an inversion of? But right, so when I say est-ce, like as in est-ce que, spell it for me again. How do I spell est-ce que?
E-C-T hyphen
E-S-T, yeah.
E-S-T C-E Q-U.
That's exactly right. So with the spaces. So in other words, E-S-T hyphen C-E, because the original version was se-a. Now we'd never say se-a. We'd obviously have to say say. So est-ce is itself an inversion. It's now this is very important to know when we get to the word what. All right. So just to bear in mind that est-ce que is itself an inversion. Are we all agreed? All right. Good. So Brie. No, who have I not done? Let's start at the top because I'm losing my order. So let's just go Brie and then I'll work my way down. What's the word why?
Pourquoi?
Lovely. Using three methods, could you ask me, why did you come? Why did you come?
Pourquoi tu viens?
Why did you come? What tense are we in?
Pourquoi tu as?
Extra verb.
Pourquoi tu es viens?
Pause. Who did I tell you last week was the most efficient person? Je in the present tense. Say for me, I came.
Je suis allé.
That's lovely muscle memory. Well done you. That's I went. What's I came? From the verb venir. Je suis venu.
Je suis venu. Right.
Look how your clever fucking mouth knows it. See, all of you go to the je when you can't find some shit and you will find it. Good job. So je suis venu. Well done you. Could you now say for me you came? Bearing in mind it's a je. What you
Tu es venu.
I'm liking your sweetness on tu. Give me the equal and opposite depth on ve. Le tu es venu. Remember, we've got to have all the vibration in place. And again,
Tu es venu.
that's delicious. Using that as your base, then, can you give me some other versions? So, why did you come?
Tu es venu.
Why did you come? Why? So, are we asking a question with an interrogative now? Yes.
Right.
So, interrogative is basically a question which can't be answered with yes or no. Why did you come? How did you come? When did you come? You know, for what reason did you come? All of this business, rather than did you come, which is basically binary. Did you come? Yes, no. Brendan, behave. So off you go. So off you go.
Tu es venu pourquoi?
Lovely. So notice on this version, okay, we've got normal sentence with a tone of voice, and bear in mind that the pourquoi can go at the end of that. Notice with that version, we could also say pourquoi tu es venu. We could also, in slangy French, pop the pourquoi there at the beginning. Notice not all interrogatives are going to work in the same way. Some will allow certain orders, some won't. All right? Lovely. So in other words, our tone of voice method is oui, tu es venu, pourquoi tu es venu? Tu es venu pourquoi? So that's still like the tone of voice method. It's not merely a tone of voice. There's obviously an interrogative. A tone of voice is a question just because of the tone of voice. What I mean is, but it's the simplest version. It's the sentence with the question word at the end, or the sentence unaltered, no esker and no inversion. No esker, no inversion, just the simplest sentence with what on either side. Why on either side? Ouais, pourquoi t'es venu? Pourquoi t'es venu? Slang French. Pourquoi tu es venu? Tu es venu pourquoi? Can you give me two other versions? Can I have a version with an esker and can I have a version with an version with can I have a version with an inversion? Can I have a version with an inversion? Off you go.
Pourquoi est-ce que tu es venu?
Lovely. Can you seal the deal and say it humanly?
Pourquoi est-ce que tu es venu?
Even faster, lips closed. Pourquoi est-ce que tu es venu?
Pourquoi est-ce que tu es venu?
Let's take a momentary pause and say, guys, you're much more likely to use esker expressions when you're talking about vous. Yeah, when you're talking about vous. Monsieur, pourquoi est-ce que vous êtes venu? Brendan, why did you come? Yeah, there's a lawyer who's told you to stay away from me. Pourquoi t'es venu? You're very, very welcome. Pourquoi t'es venu? Pourquoi t'es venu? Lovely, lovely, lovely. All right, good. So that's our version. Can I have an inverted version? And you decide whether or not you like it. Can I have an inverted version? Now, when you invert verb number 1. All right, so what's the inverted version?
Pourquoi es-tu venu?
Do we like that one?
No.
Bear that in mind. You guys' hunch is correct. If you don't like the sound of it, good. Lovely, lovely. Brendan, where would you have lived? Oh, Luke, if I'd have moved to London, I would have lived in, whatever. So where would you have lived? Give me 3 versions with that. Now, when I say 3, obviously we did just do a 4. But it's one version, as in the sensible, unfucked around with version. We just popped the question word as Bree did rather expertly on either side. But what I mean by 3 versions is one with no esker, one with an esker, one with an inversion, one with the standard order of verb and whatever, and then you play with where you put the interrogative. So I'm probably going to hear 4 sentences from you now. So where would you have lived? Where would you have lived? So the best thing to do first of all is, I think, is just work out the sentence. What is you would have lived? You would have lived.
Tu habiterais.
Listen to me. I am not going to spend 2
Oh.
hours of my fucking life on a Monday teaching you clits how to say would and would have for you to turn up a week later to mess this up. So would you like to reconsider before I send a rocket towards your house armed with lots of chemical weapons? Off you go.
Tu avais habité.
Stand still. Listen to Auntie Luke before she loses her shit. You would have lived. Would have. Look at Lukey, look at Lukey. Which tense do we involve every single time we hear the word would? Bren. The conditional. Whether it is conditional normal or conditional past. Yes?
Oui.
I teach last week's class to you again. You can pay me for last week's again. So off you go. You would have lived. Go.
Tu aurais habité.
That isn't sliding in any way, shape, or form. Notice that's why you don't remember it. Slide it for me.
Tu aurais habité.
That was delicious. Lazy. Good. That was lovely. Take that. That's your basic ass sentence. And now give me 3 models, possibly 4 sentences. So where would you have lived? Where would you have lived, Rafika?
Où est-ce que tu aurais habité?
Why don't you speak like that all the time? That was sublime. Lovely. Look at me, look at me, look at me. You can no longer use est-ce on its own because that would convert it into a yes, no question. So you've already done the one with est-ce. Où est-ce que tu aurais habité? Why don't you do me one with the do me one with the inversion? So what's the first verb? Tu aurais habité. What's the first verb going to be? Où?
Habiterais-tu?
As Auntie
No.
Bree.
Aurais habité.
Stand still. When you invert, you go verb, person. You are going to go with the first verb. So look, tu aurais habité. You are swapping tu and aurais. Just say that for me. Tu aurais habité, and then send me the reversed version.
Tu aurais habité. Aurais-tu habité?
Thank you. Guys, that's hardcore. How many tenses did we do where we had an auxiliary? 6. We're not going to use the infinitive for that. We're not going to use the sub for that necessarily. We're going to use a good 4 of them, though. Yeah. Il a mangé, a-t-il mangé? Il avait mangé, avait-il mangé? Il aura mangé, aurait-il mangé? Aura-t-il mangé? Il aurait mangé, aurait-il mangé? Clear? We can invert the auxiliary. It goes first verb that you would have used, then the subject. If there's only one pissing verb. If there's 2 pissing verbs, lovely. So off you go then, Brendan. So you've got tu aurais mangé. So go start again. Give me all the versions you can think of.
Où est-ce que tu habitais?
Aurais habité.
Ouais, pardon. Où est-ce que tu aurais habité?
Good.
Aurais-tu habité?
No, you've got no. I'm liking that in your muscle memory that exists, but where's my where gone? Where's my where?
Où est-ce?
We don't need to.
Où aurais-tu habité?
Good. So remember what Bree did. She basically said the sentence and she stuck the question word on either side. So you decide for yourself. Où aurais-tu habité or tu aurais habité où? And both of those can really exist in French. Yeah. All right. Have you got what we're doing there though? So we're doing the inversion. Yeah. Tu aurais habité où aurais-tu habité? A bit sloppier, but you can do that. So we've done the inversion. We've done the esca. What else have we got to do? The version with the word order is the same, but we've just got off. So what's that going to be? Tu aurais
habité?
Where's where gone?
Oh, où tu aurais habité?
So that one sounds shit, doesn't it? It'd be better to say tu aurais habité où? Oh, you'd have lived where? Tu aurais habité où? Good. So we're just exposing your mouth to these different versions. Good. Let's come to the next one, Denise. What is happening? What is happening? How do we say what is happening?
Qu'est-ce qui se passe?
So this is a tricky thing. There are 2 versions. You've got qu'est-ce qu'il se passe, or qu'est-ce qui se passe. So you've got qu'il and without. We'll talk about that another time. There's a video on that. Yeah. So in other words, we've got so qu'est-ce qui se passe? So you've either got what is it? So you've either got qu'est-ce que, so Q-U apostrophe E-S-T hyphen C-E space Q-U apostrophe I-L. No, hang on. Qu'est-ce qu'il se passe? So C-E space Q-U apostrophe I-L se passe. Or qu'est-ce que what am I saying? Qu'est-ce qui se passe? What am I trying to think of? Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Qu'est-ce qu'il se passe and qu'est-ce qu'il se passe? So one is ce qui, Oh, so one is ce que with an il se passe. One is ce qui and the se passe. And you do hear both because they're both grammatically correct for different versions. So you can either say qu'est-ce qui se passe or qu'est-ce qui se passe. Qu'est-ce qui se passe. I personally tend to use qu'est-ce qui se passe. But just bear in mind that both of those exist. Do you understand what I'm saying? So one is ce, C-E-Q space Q-U apostrophe I-L. One is C-E space Q-U-I. Good. So qu'est-ce qui se passe? Good.
Yes.
We've already got an esca in that sentence, haven't we?
Mhm.
Okay. So what was the word that we stuck before the auxiliary of esca to make it what? Which of our words for what did we use there? What word did you stick before esca to make esca?
Que.
You mean, yeah, why is that problematic? What word have you added to esca to make esca? What word did you add?
Que.
That's right. Now, que is a busy little bitch, isn't it? We've already, in the time that we've known each other, in that delicious, delicious several weeks that your life has changed, you've done qui and que, ce qui, ce que, all this kind of crap. One of the other great, we had que in the middle on the subjunctive. One of the other roles of que, one of its roles is as the word what. What, says everybody? Surely not. Yes, says Luke. So let's just quickly take a moment to talk about the word what for a second. So going round, Susan, would you say for me what colour? What colour? How would you say what colour?
Quelle couleur?
Lovely. We use the word quelle when we have noun present. Okay. Which colour? How would you say which colour, Susan? It's a trick question. How do you say?
Lequel?
Which colour? You've still got a noun present. So how do you say which colour? Blue. You've already said it. You've already said it. How do you say it?
Lequel? Couleur.
No, bullshit. Listen to me, bitches. If any of you says lequel again, number one, colour is feminine. Number two, you only say lequel if there's or laquelle if you don't mention the noun. You don't say lequel, laquelle if the noun is present. How do you say which colour? Go. You've already said it.
Quelle couleur?
Give it me with French vowels.
Quelle couleur?
Good. Quelle couleur?
Couleur.
All the way through. Come on. You don't. What do you want to
Quelle
put a round of
couleur?
applause for one correct word? Close your mouth and give me vowels. Quelle couleur?
Quelle couleur?
No. It's lazy. It's lazy. Quelle couleur? Let me hear the vowels properly. Go on.
Quelle couleur?
That was delicious. Now go faster. Quelle couleur?
Quelle couleur?
Better. We don't get k. Don't go to cut. It's lazy. So what's the difference between what and which? Asks Luke to every English language speaking person he works with. We don't know, Auntie Luke, says every English language person speaking, because we don't bother learning grammar in America or England or Australia anymore, because we learn to read books and have good opinions, which is not possibly the worst decision. It just means that occasionally people can't spell without an ABC spell checker. What's the difference between what and which before a noun? Simply, which suggests a shorter choice, a limit. Tia says, Luke, I've chosen a lovely colour for the dining room. And if I say, oh yeah, which colour, it suggests which colour of say like a catalogue of so many colours. What colour sounds open-ended a bit more. Yeah. Tabby says, oh Luke, I bought the dress that I showed you. And I said, oh yeah, which colour did you go with? Meaning which of the two colours I know about, as opposed to, oh, what colour is it? Is a bit more open. So in other words, we don't give a fuck which colour, which day, what colour, quelle couleur, quelle couleur. So don't worry about that. So in other words, if you've got the word with a noun, what is our word for what, Susan?
Quelle?
Lovely.
Quelle?
Susan, stay with you. How do you say, what are you eating, when the first two words are tu manges? How do you say, what are you eating, when the first two words are tu manges?
Quelle tu manges?
Susan, plug your oxygen in. Listen to Auntie Lukey. How do you say, what are you eating, when the first two words are tu manges? What are the first two words in your sentence going to be?
Est-ce que tu manges?
Stand still. Stand still. Slap your own face because I'm not allowed to. YouTube's quite picky. Wake up, wake up. Listen to Auntie Luke. The first two words are to mange. What are the first two words, Auntie Susan?
Tu manges.
Thank you. So, and what are the first two words that are going to come out of your mouth now?
Tu manges.
Cryptic, isn't it? So how do we say what are you eating when the first two words are to mange? What's it going to be?
Tu manges quoi?
That's it. Look how your muscle memory kicks in. Christ almighty. Good God, you lot. Have a coffee before the class. Lovely. So what word do we use, Susan, when we're ending on the word what? What word do we use when we end a sentence with the word what?
What?
Good job, you. Notice, guys, this is our standard word for what if our verb uses a preposition. I will say this again, not 4 times. For people who aren't listening, I will say this twice. Our standard word for what when the verb uses a preposition, de or a, is quoi. Susan, not using il me faut, using besoin. How do you say you need?
J'ai besoin. Tu as besoin de.
When I say stop, it means stop. J'ai besoin is followed by what?
De.
So you need, give me the version. If you've just said j'ai besoin de, what's the you version?
Tu as besoin de.
Gorgeous. Did it have a de on it, Auntie Susan? So how do you say using besoin? Side note, people, don't forget to use faut a bit more. Besoin is a bit overused. But if we were using besoin with a tu, how would I ask, Susan, what do you need? What do you need? Repeat to me, Susan, what is the word for what I'm going to use if my verb uses de or a? What word am I going to use?
En.
What word did we talk
Quoi?
about?
Okay, quoi?
Don't say okay like it's something new. I've told you. What word do we use? Well, you told me. What word do you use for what if the verb has de or a?
Quoi?
So how do you say what do you need using besoin?
Tu as besoin de quoi?
Flawless. To think of, Susan, penser, don't mess up the preposition, penser.
Ah.
Nice. Ask me the question, Luke, what are you thinking of? Luke, what are you thinking of? Luke,
Luc, tu pensais à quoi?
you are
Tu
thinking.
penses à quoi?
Good. All right. So quoi has a role as well. So we've got quel for what with a noun. We've got quoi for what at the end of a sentence or after a preposition. Then let's go back to our other ones. So Susan, how would you say what are you eating? In the way that just comes most naturally to you, other than tu manges quoi, how would you say, Susan, what are you eating?
Quel
Listen to Auntie Luke. In what are you eating is eating a verb or a noun?
It's a verb.
So I ain't going to use quel because what did I say? Quel precedes a noun.
Noun.
So what is the expression that you use for what are you eating if you are asking what about a verb? Not the only one, but what's the main one?
Qu'est-ce
Finish it.
Qu'est-ce que tu manges?
Good job, you. So here are some facts you guys might like to know. Qu'est-ce que is saying what is it that? So when you have an inversion, in other words, think about it this way. When you use the word que, Q-U-E, to mean what, you then need an inversion. I shall say that 3 times. 3 times more, I'm generous. Que plus inversion for question what? One of the methods. Que plus inversion for what? One of the methods. Que plus inversion. What follows que, people, when you've got, what follows que when it's a question?
Plus inversion.
Plus inversion. So, Susan, You eat, just literally say for me you eat in 2 words. How would you say you eat?
Tu manges.
Nice accent. What would be the inversion of tu manges?
Manges-tu.
Ask me in 3 words, what are you eating?
Que
Within-
manges-tu?
Is that your first choice? Possibly not. Or we can go to que plus what follows que when it's a question, Susan? Que plus an
Infinitive.
What have we just
What
been
did you-
fucking saying?
Oh, inversion, inversion.
You? Good. I need to attach something. I all need something you can plug into a USB. I don't mind. Vaginas or testicles, and I hit a space bar and I will fry you all. I will fry you all. I'll be like, no. I will send an electric current through. I will. What follows que, Auntie Susan?
An inversion.
Good job. What is it? How do you say it? In what sounds like 1 word, but it's 2 words. How do you say it's?
C'est.
Good job, you. And what did we previously say was the inversion of say? Say, let's be honest, is a corruption, isn't it? Of so it's joined together. It's a contraction, pardon me, of so and a. So if we were to invert so and a and go the other way around, what would I end up with?
Et ce.
Fabulous. Stick a que up the ass of esse, and what would I be given?
Est-ce que.
Stick a que up the ass on the other side. Give me a cut on the other side.
Oh.
Yes.
Qu'est-ce que. Qu'est-ce.
That's it. So when you say keska, you have got 2 whats. Do we understand why they are all there? They are both there, pardon me, that's bad English. The first que is the what, that. Then there's the inversion. And then there is the word that because you're going into another person. All right? So, for example, if you say, I'm being annoying, I'm going to close the door. They don't have to listen to my shit. If you said, so let's do another one. Susan, you're going to finish this up for me, and then I'm going to another person. Say he does. Just say for me he does.
Il fait.
So that is he's doing as well, isn't it, Susan? So in 3 methods, I'll guide you through it. Could you say for me, what is he doing? In 3 versions. The first version is going to have what at the end. What was the word for what, Susan, when it comes at the end of the sentence?
Quoi.
Fabulous. So can you now say for me, what is he doing in 3 words?
Tu fais quoi?
Nice speed. Can you now acknowledge that both of the following 2 versions are going to start with the word que? One of them is going to go straight into the inversion, and one of them is going to have the inversion of the is it, and then the he eats. All right. So could you give me both of those versions? So could you say for me, what is he eating in both of those versions?
Or doing, where we do. Okay. Well.
Doing, I apologize. That's okay.
Okay. Que fais-tu?
He's doing. I gave you he on purpose. What is he doing?
Oh.
He.
Qu'il fait.
Stand still. In what follows the word que?
Il.
Stand still. In a question, what follows the word que that rhymes with I will bomb your damn house, which also rhymes with inversion? What follows que in a question?
Que fait.
Stand still. What follows que in a question and
An inversion.
And again, Susan, what follows que in a question?
An inversion.
What follows que in a question?
An inversion.
Good. You either invert your main verb, que manges-tu, or you use what is it that you're eating, and you invert the is part. Do you see what I mean? So you've got both methods. So you either say que, which is que plus an inversion of be, tu manges. So you could say, right, there's a version with qu'est-ce and there's a version with que, but just know that qu'est-ce is the que. So say for me, just say he does. Just say he does. Il fait.
Il fait.
Nice pronunciation. Could you invert il fait? What would that give me?
Fait-il?
Lovely. And what word do we add at the beginning of the sentence to ask? Either way, what word has got to come at the beginning?
Que fait-il?
Lovely. Now, can you give me the other version? The other version where you've got what is it that he's eating, which is probably more common to you. And if I'm honest, nicer. What's that going to be?
Qu'est-ce que... Qu'est-ce qu'il fait?
Good, because you don't need to invert il fait, because you inverted certain A.
Yes.
Susan, what comes after cut in a question and in
Inversion.
That's it. Well done. Good. Tia, what would he have done in as many versions as you can think of?
Qu'est-ce qu'il aurait fait?
I can't hear you.
Qu'est-ce qu'il aurait fait?
Qu'est-ce qu'il aurait fait? No, go. Qu'est-ce qu'il aurait fait? Yeah, lovely. Let me hear it again.
Qu'est-ce qu'il aurait fait?
Luke knows when something is not in the muscle memory. Go again. Qu'est-ce qu'il aurait fait?
Qu'est-ce qu'il aurait fait?
That's lovely. So notice, guys, that qu'est-ce que is going to be followed by a il, and that sounds like qu'est-ce qui, but it's Q-U apostrophe E-S-T hyphen C-E space Q-U apostrophe I-L. What a load of writing. So qu'est-ce qu'il aurait fait? Lovely. Next version.
Il aurait fait quoi?
Lovely.
Que aurait-il fait?
Good. Qu'aurait-il fait?
Que aurait-il fait?
You will hear this. What would you have done? Qu'auriez-vous fait? Yeah, Q-U. It is groundbreaking to people that have followed like a standard French learning method. They're like, what do you mean this cuss shit? What are you doing? Que fais-tu? What's happening? Que se passe-t-il? Que se passe-t-il? What's happened? Brace yourself. Que s'est-il passé? Inversion. Because in a minute, we'll talk about where pronouns go in inversions. Yeah. Pronouns go, pronouns stay with the auxiliary verbs. So something happened. Quelque chose s'est, S apostrophe E-S-T, passé. What happened? Que s'est-il? S-E-S-T. This is Tassy's, I think. Oh, in Italian, but there you go, my darling. Go. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Oh, yeah. So que s'est-il passé? Yep. What would you have done to me? Que m'auriez-vous fait? I mean, there's all kinds. Some of them sound really archaic. Some of them are still quite used, particularly by DELF and DALF examiners and DELF and DALF questions. All right, good. Tabby, we go to the Lukey's had a day at the hospital. Let's say, what's the word for how many? What's the word for how many, Tabby?
Comment?
How many?
Oh, how many is
Come. Stand still. I will not repeat words to you. I've said them, you listen. You've got a damn good accent. Make your accent as good for listening as for speaking. You've got a damn good accent, girl. I will not say words 4 times. It makes you sound thick, and you're not thick. I'm saying it once, you're copying my sound. Don't go, is this a word I know that I can then go through my brain and find a word I know and then visualize that word and then read that word? That's what you're all doing. Copy the sound I'm giving you. I could say fanny lips. Just fucking copy whatever I'm saying. Copy me. I shan't say fanny lips. Copy whatever sound I'm saying. You ready? Combien?
Combien?
Look how clean that was. Good. Don't underwork. You're too smart. Just copy the sound. Go again. Combien?
Combien?
Good girl. That is how much or how many. Yeah. How would you say how many people?
Combien personnes?
Combien de personnes? Because even in question form, it is referring to a quantity. Copy me on these expressions. Copy me, Tabby. I want expert fucking copying. Beaucoup de personnes.
Beaucoup de personnes.
Nice speed. Moins de personnes. Fewer people. Not less people, plebs. Fewer people. Up you go. Moins de personnes.
Moins de personnes.
Nice copying, madam. Too many people. Trop de personnes.
Tout de personnes.
Nice consonant speed, but don't lose the vowel in the consonant speed. But nice mouth position. Trop de personnes.
Tout de personnes.
That's it. That's it. Too many people. T-R-O-P. So what word so far, Tabby, have we always had present with quantity? We've had the word...
Tout.
Don't lip read and cheat, but at least you gave it a go. What word... I don't know why you're laughing, Brendan. I'm coming at you next. What word have we had after beaucoup? Beaucoup...
De.
That's it. Trop... And again, trop...
De.
Good. Nice. Nice vowel placement. Fewer, not less. Less if it's less than a single noun. But there's people in English go, oh, there's less cars. No, there's fewer cars. Moins.
Moins de.
That's it. All right. Notice those words are all used with adjectives without the de. Yeah. Moins bizarre. Trop bizarre. Luke is too weird. Luke est trop bizarre. You know, not beaucoup, but yeah, the rest are. So, in other words, how many people is a quantity? So we often have dirt with a quantity. Can you ask me how many cars, Tabby? How many cars?
Combien de voitures?
Good. Now, smooth it all together, my darling. Small mouth. You've got a nice small mouth. Combien de voitures?
Combien de voitures?
Good. Say for me, there are how many cars?
Il y a combien de voitures?
Flawless. Il y a is made up of which three words? This might seem a really obvious question, but have a go, Tabby. What three words is il y a made up of?
Il.
Il, spell il.
E-L. E-L.
I-L. I-L.
I-L. And then
It's it. What's the next word? Il y a. What's the next?
E.
Which is spelled how?
Uh,
I adore the spell it because it means you're working on sound, so don't think I give a shit. But for the record, it is a Y. Yes.
Y.
Because it's saying it, there, has. Yeah. And what is the third? What is the third word that we want? Il y a. What's the third word?
Yeah.
Il is a subject pronoun. It. A is a verb. What is the E? A pronoun. And what did Lukey say you do when you have pronouns? You keep them next to the verb they are next to for an inversion. And what else, Tabby, did Lukey say you need to add if when you did your inversion, you had a vowel to a vowel? So if I've got il y a, what is the inversion of il y a, which is used loads?
Il a-t-il?
How is that inverting, my darling, if you're starting with the same fucking word? So look at Lukey. Say to me, you eat. Say to me, you eat.
Tomorrow?
Good job. What was the first word? You. Brenda, put your fingers down. It's distracting me. Say to me, you eat. Again, Tabby.
To mange.
What was the first word? You. Agreed? And the second word, which on this occasion was the first verb, was mange. So an inversion goes first verb, then the subject. So what's to mange inverted?
Manges-tu?
Correct. Get rid of the E for a moment. Just say il a. Just say il a.
Il a.
What would be the inversion? We already have it. Did Bree do it or Susan do it? What is the inversion of il a? He has. What would the inversion of that be?
A-t-il?
Good job, you. And that would be written A hyphen added T hyphen IL, because it's an inversion. We don't like an inversion. We don't like hiatus on an inversion. To explain those terms, hiatus is not just when your favorite TV show goes off air. It is where there is a vowel I. Now, we don't mind speaking with a hiatus because some people do a liaison and some people don't. We do links in our class. It suits you all. So, for example, il a. No, what should I say? Nous avons eu. No, let me think. Where's a really good one? The hiatus. Tu as, like we can slide between two vowels, but if it's an inversion, you know, we like to have something in the middle of the slide. So, in other words, il a in reverse is a-t-il. What is the pronoun, Tabby, that you successfully had before the word a in the expression il y a? What was the one letter pronoun that you successfully placed there?
I.
And that is going to stay before the a. The same a that you have just told me, is going to start at-il. So in other words, Tabby, try popping an e, try popping at-this way. Try popping an e before at-il and see what you come up with.
Y a-t-il?
Lovely, which is pronounced y-a-t-il. Y-a-t-il. Say y-a-t-il.
Y a-t-il?
Now listen to this shit. The slang of il y a is ya. Ya. The inversion of il y a is y-a-t-il. Not a fucking massive difference. Copy me. Well done, Tabby. Come to Brie. Say, yeah, say to me, y a un problème, y a un problème, y a un problème.
Y a un problem.
Which is slang. Is there a problem? Give me the inversion. Y a-t-il un problème?
Y a-t-il un problem?
Lovely. That's it. What would be with the inversion, Brie? Was there a problem with the inversion? Was there a problem with the inversion?
Y a-t-il un problem?
Good. What would there be a problem with the inversion?
Y aurait-il un problem?
Lovely. What would there have been a problem with the inversion? With the inversion, y aurait.
Y aurait-il
Y aurait-il eu un problem? Yeah. Lovely.
Yeah.
Remember when you invert, guys. Okay, just say for me, we have won using nous. So we have won and gagné. Say we have won.
Nous avons gagné.
Gagné. Nous avons gagné.
Nous avons gagné.
Lovely. Invert.
Gagné.
No. Right. Okay.
Avez-nous gagné?
That's it. Listen to Luke. Right. There's two systems that work. System number 1. 1, 2, 3. 2, 1, 3. No, don't change the last word. The other system which works is just think, always start with the first verb, and the second word with an inversion will always be the person. Whether it's like vous avez, avez-vous. What's the most famous inversion in the entirety of French culture and English culture? It is the ABBA song, Voulez-vous coucher avec... No, it's not the ABBA song, it's the Lady Marmalade song, isn't it? Like I was thinking, Voulez-vous by ABBA. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? Down, sister, sound, system, down, Voulez-vous coucher? It's the most famous fucking song. What do we know about Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? Number 1, you can tell she's a woman of the night because she's vouvoying the person she's speaking to. So it's like most of the time, if you're about to be physically fucking intimate with somebody, I find it really odd if you're about to climb on top of them that you would use vous with them. So that is a professional relationship. There's a really interesting story where Brigitte Bardot broke some shit of her, as in Brigitte Bardot broke some shit of her parents when she was younger by mistake. And apparently her parents started vouvoying her after that, which is really dark. So yeah, So in other words, voulez-vous. What is written between the voulez and the vous?
Dash.
Good. So for the moment, you're thinking of the bottom six. Your inversion could be referring to a first verb and an infinitive. So say for me, Brie, she's going to eat. Say for me, she's going to eat.
Elle va manger.
Hypothetically, what would be the inversion of is she going to eat? Swap the first two.
Va-t-elle manger?
Lovely, but that's ugly to me. Say for me, I can help. Say for me, I can help.
Je peux aider. Je peux
Say
aider.
for me in French. That's it. Well corrected. Good. Susan, any ideas what je peux is as an inversion? Obviously, you want to say peux je, but we don't say. Any idea what in archaic, still correct French, but it's just a little bit old-fashioned sounding for me. What is je peux done as an inversion? We don't say peux je, we say puis. Any ideas? Anybody come across it? Go, Tabby.
Please.
Puis, almost, not puis, but puis.
Puise.
Well done. Lovely, well done. Notice puis, Tabby, is the subjunctive. Yeah, but puis-je, well done, Tabby. Puis-je. Puis-je vous aider? I only use that, if I'm honest, if I'm being sarcastic. Like if I've been in the kitchen and I carry some shit in to somebody who has literally not moved their fat ass and I've cooked everything. And in French, like, may I serve you, Lord? And all this business. I'll be like, puis-je vous servir, monsieur? And all this business. I use it sarcastically. Here are some other ideas. I'm trying to get a lot in so that you're just open to what you're listening to. Here are some other ideas for questions. Notice to make a question more formal. It almost goes a bit British sounding. First step is we'll add an adverb. So, so you have some water. So, vous avez de l'eau? Okay, vous avez de l'eau. To make it polite, make it conditional. So, Brendan, what's the conditional of you have water? Would you have water? Vous
aurez de l'eau.
Conditional, not future fella. Conditional, vous aurez.
Oh, conditional.
As per the sentence, what would the conditional be?
Oh oui, vous auriez de l'eau.
Thank you. Say it with your mouth closed.
Vous auriez de l'eau.
Good. You just don't listen to me, you lot. What would it be if I added an adverb such as would you perhaps have some water? Vous auriez
peut-être de l'eau.
What would it be if I then made it negative? You wouldn't perhaps, and it's getting a little bit British, but you wouldn't perhaps have any water? Vous auriez, make it negative?
Vous auriez pas de l'eau.
Or even peut-être, vous aurez pas peut-être de l'eau.
Vous auriez peut-être
So you can
de l'eau.
keep going in your courtesy. So concepts with courtesy can be, Madame, vous auriez pas l'heure par hasard? You wouldn't have the time by any chance. Getting a little bit too, so sorry to bother you. Do you know what I mean? Oui, alors vous auriez pas peut-être là. You're lovely. So that's another thing to be aware of. Good. Quick fire round, random round. Don't think, go with the first one that comes to you. If I think there's better ways of asking the question, I'll say. So just go with the first way that comes to you. Next week, the question theme continues. You're going to be interviewing each other and interviewing me. All right. So we can get all of this in context. All right. So go and watch the videos on this, and then we'll be asking about it. So let's go in order. Brie, could you say for me, where was he born? Where was he born? To warm me up, don't fucking speak Franglais. To warm me up, pardon me, in my fatigue, I got a bit French. Pour me préchauffer. So, to warm you up, how do you say I was born?
Je suis né.
Lovely. And even though it's a was, it ain't a was, is it? So, how would you say you were born?
Tu es né.
I'm loving you and tu. Right? Where were you born?
Tu es né où?
That's fine for me, as long as you're tu es né où. Do me the slide.
Tu es né où?
Lovely. You're good. Où est-ce que tu es né? Yeah. Yeah, but I like où est-ce que tu es né où? That's fine. Lovely. Good job. That'll do. Brendan, did you want to come with me? Did you want to come with me?
Est-ce que tu
If I'm
viens-
using, here's my advice. If I'm comfortable enough to use to with somebody, I don't tend to esker. It's not unheard of. I don't mean you don't use esker with other question words, but I mean, if it's a basic yes, no, I tend to go tone of voice. So say to me, did you want to come with me?
tu veux venir avec moi?
Did you want is where, Brendan? Past, present, or future?
Did you? Oh, it passed.
Look at Auntie Luke. Look at Auntie Luke. We have done this before. We have done this before. What does did tell us, and what does didn't tell us? I don't mean did as to do with fair. It tells us two things. It tells us it's in the fucking past. Do you know what else it tells us? It tells us it's in the fucking past. That is the only thing it tells us. It doesn't tell us which of our tenses. I say to Tabby, Tabby says, Luke, I went out last night. Je suis sorti. I said, did you, Tabby? Did you go out last night? Oh my God, that's so cool. Where did you go? Oh, we had a lovely time. I went and saw a girlfriend. We did this. Did you go out? Could just be, est-ce que tu es sorti? It could just be the passé composé because you went out. Tu es sorti. Est-ce que tu es sorti? T'es sorti? Es-tu sorti? Whatever. It's the passé composé. If Denise said, oh yeah, I went out with this guy or this girl, I don't know. I'm not judging anybody. No, I don't even want to say judge. Is it being freaking with a woman is bad? I'm saying I'm not defining anybody. But say I said to Denise, I haven't spoken. Yes, I have. I know Denise has got a man in her life. So if I said, did you go out with this guy, you know, after college or something? You went out with, in English, you went out with could be one time tu es sorti, or likewise, it could be tu sortais. Agreed? Yeah, because it could be an ongoing repetitive action. Therefore, did you go out with this guy would be est-ce que tu sortais avec ce mec? Do you understand, Brendan? So likewise, didn't. I ate one action, j'ai mangé. I didn't eat, j'ai pas mangé. I ate gluten before I was diagnosed and everything got shit. Je mangeais, ongoing, I used to eat. I didn't used to eat. Je ne mangeais pas. So when you hear a did and a didn't, you still, guys, have that choice between the passé composé and the imperfect, correct? So you need to make the choice. So did you want, give me both versions of did you want to come out with me? Did you want to come out? So give it me as like the one-off one and give it me as the ongoing feeling one. So let me hear them both. Did you want to go out? Did you want to come with me? Did you want to come with me?
Tu as voulu venir avec moi?
Lovely. Tu as voulu venir avec moi? Tu as voulu venir avec moi? But more likely, tu
voulais venir avec moi?
Lovely. Good. Denise, what would we have found if we had noticed the combinations? I'm not even going to spell this out. What would we have found if we'd gone without you? What would we have found if we'd gone without you?
Qu'est-ce que nous avions?
What are we in?
We are in the past would tense.
But what is this combo called? Notice we have wandered. I can't pretend it's not on purpose. We've wandered into an interrogative version of our present hypothetical and our past hypothetical. How sneaky. Agreed? How sneaky. What would we be wise to remember when we do these fuckers? That the one with a C in it is followed by what? Either on the main verb or either on the auxiliary. What tense follows the C, Denise?
The conditional.
You would do well to watch the
Oh,
class.
I'm sorry. The was.
Sorry, that's just known as a process of elimination. Oh, I'm sorry, I gave your husband the wrong drug. He died on the table. Oh, I'm sorry. No. We do our job properly and we make a fucking effort. What is the fucking tense that follows the fucking C? Denise, always. Hypotheticals.
Was.
Good job. I mean, imperfect by definition, because was, as we've discovered, is always was. But yes, I call it was in my method, but you know it is always was. Good. Whether it's on the only verb or whether it's on the auxiliary. Yes. What would we, also not being fucking funny, we are spelling it out. What would we have found? So what would we have found if we'd gone without you? Have another go, Denise.
Qu'est-ce que nous aurions trouvé?
Good. Say that again for pronunciation.
Qu'est-ce que nous aurions trouvé?
Lovely. If we had gone without you.
Si nous serions...
And still, guys, balance these up. You do one from one side and one from the other. Listen to me again. We've done 2 weeks on this. I'm not a happy girl. Listen to me. One way of thinking about this, was and would and was. We spoke about which one is going to have the was. It's going to be the one after the if. We spoke about this.
Mm-hmm.
Then we said, fine, if you've got the past hypothetical, it'll still be would and was and would, but it'll be on the auxiliary. And another way we said was, look, with this past hypothetical, it's one from avait and ete and one from aurait and serait, or the nu and the vous equivalent thereof. So if you've just given me an auxiliary that's in the would, I now need an auxiliary which is from which tense, Denise?
In the was.
That is it. Well done. All right. Get on top of this, guys. All right. So lovely. Now you can see why I did that for 2 weeks. I'm not going to do a third week on it. So we would have, what would we have found if we'd gone without you?
Qu'est-ce que...
No reading. Up. Eyes on me. Go. What would we have found if we'd gone without you?
Qu'est-ce que nous aurions trouvé si nous serions...
Are you listening to me? We've just done one with an auxiliary in the middle, my darling, of would. Yes?
Right.
I don't mean to be rude. If you had gone without me, we're spelling it out. We're spelling it out. It's not even like we don't know that we can't hear the had tense. What did Auntie Luke tell you? When you can't find the auxiliary, go to the queen of the auxiliary tenses, which is the first on the line. Say for me, we went. Just say for me, we went.
Nous...
Actions. Action tense.
Nous sommes allés.
Good job. That is the queen of the fucking auxiliary tenses. What's we had gone?
Nous étions allés.
Lovely. What would we have found if we'd gone without you?
Qu'est-ce que nous aurions trouvé si nous serions...
If you say sorry one more time, I will delete you from today's conversation and you will have a week sitting on the bench. You will not be allowed next week. Go again. Stop saying it. Go.
Qu'est-ce que nous aurions trouvé si nous...
We had.
Nous avions...
Correct tense, but wrong fucking verb.
Nous...
Stand still. Say for me, I went.
Je suis allé.
Say for me, I had gone as an action. No, it isn't an action. I don't want to say that. Just say for me, I had gone.
J'étais allé.
What do we do with be verbs when the auxiliary is in the was tense? They are ete, as we have done at length. Go again, one more time. What would we have done if we'd gone without you? No, let's change it up. If we'd gone without you, what would we have done? If we had gone without you, what would we have done? Just reverse it around.
Si nous étions allés sans toi, qu'est-ce que nous aurions fait?
Good. People always like that way around, don't they?
It's much easier.
I don't care. Am I doing anything that I haven't spent 2 weeks going over? No. No. Also, which is spiteful. The present hypothetical is actually more spiteful. If I went with him, your brain wants to go, oh, je suis allé, I went. That's the one you've got to use the was. That's the one you've got to use the was with. But if you're in the past hypothetical, unless you're using some bastard variation of would and could shit, it's going to sound like what it's doing. We would have found, nous aurions trouvé, if we had gone. Do you see what I mean? It's actually giving you the tenses. Yeah, it's actually giving you the tenses. To quote Sally in the group, if she'd given me like, we would have had to, if we'd have done this, we would have had to. So that was the question. So let's end on this one. Susan, say for me, we would have had to leave. We would have had to leave.
Nous aurions dû partir.
Make that a question. It is just like anything else we've done today. The most obvious way to make it a question is to ram which little expression up its ass is it that? Off you go. Turn it into would we have had to have leave? Mommy, would we have had to have left? Off you go. Would we have had to leave? Would we have had to left? Would we have had to leave?
Est-ce que nous aurions partir?
Est-ce que nous aurions what? Would we have had to leave? Est-ce que nous aurions
aurions dû partir?
Because if we were going to do would we have left, it would be est-ce que nous serions partis, wouldn't it? It would have been a be verb, yes? Good.
Oh.
Should we have left? Should we have left? Same shit. This is a shout out for Sally. Should we have left? Exactly the same sentence. Could you please say that for me, Sally? Susan.
Okay.
Same sentence.
Devrions...
The clue, Christ, I'm cryptic. I'm so cryptic, don't you think, Brendan? The clue was in the sentence, the same sentence. Wasn't that confusing? The same sentence as what you've just said. It's exactly the same French as you just given me. Off we go again.
Est-ce que tu... Est-ce que nous...
We're dealing with a nous. We're dealing with a. Off you go.
Okay. Est-ce que nous devrions...
I fucking hate.
Okay.
I fucking hate every one of you deaf cunts. Go again. Nous aurions dû partir.
Nous aurions dû partir. Okay. Est-ce que nous aurions dû partir?
Look at Lukey. I love that you want to give me something else, but you cannot say nous aurions parti. If we were talking about a verb, should we have eaten? Yes, the answer is always yes to that question. Est-ce que nous aurions dû manger? Est-ce que nous aurions mangé? I can see the interplay. I can, guys. I can. But when it's a be verb, we would have left. What did I tell you in would, should, could week? Would and would have, Brendan do well to remember, is always going to involve the conditional. And it will always be a tense that is available in your top 6 and your bottom 6. If I'm dealing with a be verb, Auntie Susu, and I'm on the bottom, I'm going to have be all the way through, yes? So say for me again, nous aurions dû partir. Go.
Nous aurions dû partir.
Faster, you might even faster.
Nous aurions dû partir.
That sounded nice. That sounded native when you said that. That sounded really good. Now shove a fucking S up its ass.
Est-ce que nous aurions dû partir?
That doesn't count because you paused the breath and therefore you don't have any muscle memory. Yeah? And you don't have any kinesthetic memory is basically what it is. Yeah, we have a visual memory, an auditory memory, and a kinesthetic memory. Muscle memory. Right, off you go. Should we have left? Est-ce que nous aurions dû partir?
Est-ce que nous aurions dû partir?
That's a fucking smart thing. That means both should we have left and would we have had to have left? Would we have had to leave? Yeah, I totally get, as per the question from Susan, from Sally in the group, that is a totally different entity in English. Do we all get that? That sounds different. Yeah, lovely. Well done. Lots of information this week, which is why there's a week 2 to the project. Okay, so I want you to see what interviews you see this week see what like celeb interviews or questions you either watch on like, you know, late night TV or, you know, in a magazine. Grab it. If you see a questionnaire this week where someone's interviewing a celebrity, grab it, stick it on the coffee table, you know, whatever, keep a hold of it. We'll translate it next week, or we'll look at the question element of it. Yes? Good. I know it's getting harder. Do you know why it's getting harder? Because it's going up. Do we want it to go up? Yes. Go over my slogans. My slogans are there for a reason. Before we end, let's just do some slogans. Brendan, what tense is would and would have always going to involve?
Sorry. Would and would have is always going to involve something from the top line and the bottom line.
Yes, but so do a lot of things. It's going to involve the
conditional imparfait. Sorry, repeat the question. I'm a bit sorry.
Do you mean, could you repeat the question, please, you rude little fuck?
I'm sorry.
What is the conditional and the what is the would and the would have? That was the first correction I gave you today. What is the would and the would have always going to involve, Brendan?
Auxiliary.
No. One.
Oh. One. Oh, yeah. 2 and 4.
No. No.
Oh.
No. That's from somewhere else.
Oh.
Do not ride on my energy, you bitches. The would and the would have is going to always involve the fucking conditional. That was your one to remember, yes?
The would and the would have is always going to...
Don't say back to me like you're hearing it for the first time. You've been told it all lesson. What is the would and the would have always going to involve? What tense is it going to involve? The conditional, always. What tense?
Conditional.
Good girl. Either would or would have. Either way, there's a conditional. Whether the conditional is on the main verb or the conditional is on the auxiliary verb. Yes?
Yeah.
Am
Yes.
I right? Gone over this? Yes. Say for me, he would eat.
Il mangera. Il mangerait. Il mangerait.
It's a shame I can't pitch you together. That's what my dad used to do. Number 1, fight number 3. Number 2, fight number 4. It's marvellous, marvellous. I'll go Brie. I'll lock you in a cage with Brendan. It'd be like Battle Royale. Have you seen that Japanese TV show? They each get to pick a weapon and the one that survives. Lovely. Your weapon would not be the conditional, Brendan. So would you please say for me, he would eat? What is the ending of a would tense, Brendan? What is the slogan ending of a would tense?
Ray.
It isn't as if Auntie... Thank you. Well done. It isn't as if Auntie Luke didn't prepare you for this shit. So would you now please say for me, he would eat? No.
Let's say for me what? Sorry?
He would eat. He would eat.
Il mangerait.
Would you now say for me, he would have eaten?
Il aurait mangé.
Good. I'm going to come to Susan. Susan, what follows an inversion? Oh, shut up, Luke. Answer your question. What precedes an inversion as a question? It's about what? Which word?
Her.
Good. Denise, which 2 tenses are going to be employed if I'm doing a hypothetical past?
The was with the auxiliary.
Yes, or yeah, I don't mind that being said at all. I have no problem with that being said at all. I mean, you could say pluperfect, but I can't be fucked with that shit. Was with the auxiliary, was on the auxiliary. It's not was with an auxiliary. It's was on the auxiliary plus the past participle. And what else?
The past conditional.
That's what you've just described.
Oh, I'm sorry. The was tense.
Oh no. Sorry, no. I apologise. No, you were right. Yeah. What? Stick to your sister. If you're saying was, use would. If you're saying imperfect, say conditional. Pair them up appropriately. Was and would auxiliaries. Imperfect conditional auxiliaries. Stick those pairings together. Good. Okay. Tabby, what word always comes after combien in a question?
De.
Good. Tabby, what goes before a-t-il in an inversion of il y a?
T.
What goes before a-t-il in the version of il y a? If I'm inverting il y a.
E.
Thank you, which we pronounced how? Brendan, if you can yawn, if you could at least possibly try and do it internally. Lovely, off you go. What's that going to sound like then, Tabby? Yes.
Y a-t-il.
Lovely. Raise your game, because I am, bitches, yes? We've got work to go over, an hour's worth of this shit. Here's someone's answer, press pause, speak. Here's someone's answer, press pause, speak. For next week, find me interviews. It could be the most vacuous, dumbass, stupid interview with somebody that you find grossly humanly beautiful and that you only watch their movies because they're hot. I do not care. Go around someone's house if they've got a copy of the National Enquirer and it's some crap interview, whatever. Actually, they don't tend to interview people because interviews normally generate the truth when people speak. They just like to invent crap. Find some stuff, online interviews. Yeah, the Evening Standard, the London newspaper, the supplement on a Friday used to be, it's called ES Magazine. It was amazing. It always had interviews at the back. Find me interviews. You're going to interview me next week. Yeah, and you're going to interview each other. All the questions you've ever wanted to know about Brendan, all the questions you've ever wanted to know about whatever, everybody, everything. What do you weigh? What do you eat? Why did you do this? Why did you start? You know, you will look at how many times did you do? You know, we'll look at all of the questions because why? What is conversation in France? Normally question response. Yes, you're in France, you're speaking to people. How important are questions? That's what people do to you. That's what you do to them, correct? Don't make me repeat would, should, and could, or it risks becoming a bloodbath. Agreed? Good. Well done, all of you. All right, loads of love. Good job.